Everybody. Yes, yes, yes. Am I live? Am I live? Am I on live? Everybody, people, what's up? How are you? Yes, 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 yes. How are you? Yes, yes. Okay, 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 fellas. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Our beloved students, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes or no? What is here? Is that yes or no? The sound is here now. Oh, perfect. 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 Yes. Nice. Okay. Uh, let's let's start. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see us. Today we are going to talk about TOEFL, and we will talk about everything basically. This is an introduction for TOEFL. I will discuss my notes with you, all the notes that I did yesterday night, and I will make sure that you understand TOEFL completely. Adding to that, I want to give you a basic information about the students' education and the candidate that the stuff, the ability or the level of English language that he needs in order to take TOEFL exam, TOEFL test. So we are starting with basics. As you see, TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. Test of English as a Foreign Language. Now, TOEFL basically it's American from the States, and the students that usually, I think all the students do that, non-native speakers, the students who cannot speak English. So you name it, Turkey, Germany, Korea, Russia. Okay. Now, why we need to take TOEFL? Well, TOEFL basically is an online IBT system program based, and the students that want to take TOEFL, they want to study in a university, North American universities, or different university. It depends actually on your university. What do your university required from you to prepare? Is it IELTS? Is it TOEFL? It depends on that. However, TOEFL, for some students, they believe that TOEFL is much harder than IELTS. Well, it's not that hard if you ask me. But however, they believe that the writing skills on TOEFL are much harder than IELTS, IELTS academic and general. So, and just let me say that just the idea of or the word academic can make so much people anxious. Well, academic, okay, it's an academic. Don't worry, you are a university student. Either you're undergraduate or postgraduate student, which mean you're an academic person, which mean you have a level of education. Okay, so don't be scared of the word academic. Let's make this fourth head is very clear so that you don't feel stressed, anxious, and everything about it. It's no problem. You can't cover everything on any academic topic, and that's I am aware of. I think here I can show you a picture of a few stuff here. Yes, I don't know if I can zoom that for you. Let's see. I don't know if I can zoom that. Okay, I will read it for you. This is basically the topics in TOEFL. If you are wondering, let's see. No. Okay, here I will highlight it for you. You can make the screen big. Archaeology. We don't know so much about archaeology. No problem there. So much academic topics, so much academic fields you don't have any experts in, and that would not be a problem. They will not evaluate you. They will not. How can we say that? Oh, where? Right? I can't see. Where? You can zoom bottom right. It doesn't matter. This is just, I wanted to make you capable to understand the topics. Architecture, art history, fine arts, linguistics, literature, music, philosophy. Those are humanities, social sciences, anthropology, business, economics, education, geography, history, political science, psychology, public health, and sociology. And biological sciences, agriculture, anatomy, biology, botany, entomology, environmental science. You see, so much, and I can go on and on, but the idea that I'm trying to clear out for you is do not be as scared of the word academic. You can always, as an academic person, as an academic intellectual person who went to university and so on, or about to go to university, you have that capacity, you have that capability to cover any academic topic, whether it was a humanitarian or it was any other field of topics that might occur. You don't have to be specific. They will not evaluate you. They will not grade you according to that. They will grade you according to your English language. So don't be afraid of that. It will come across easily. Don't worry about this. Now, before we go on and dig deep to TOEFL, I need to make sure that, and TOEFL is not an exam that you can underestimate. This is a serious exam. I'm not trying to make you, quit it, but it's a serious exam, and it's very important that I practice my job as an instructor and inform you that you need to have a high B2 level and a beginner C1, a high B2 level and a starting C1, because TOEFL, we don't have time to discuss grammar. We don't have time to discuss vocabularies. You see, grammar and vocabularies, you must use to them throughout the levels that you took. Because I don't think a TOEFL student, and that's just my point of view, I don't think the TOEFL students have time to discuss vocabularies and also grammar, because TOEFL students, he need to focus on the models, the question types, the other things that might confuse him or her when they are taking the exam. So vocabulary and grammars we will not discuss, because vocabulary needs time. If I am teaching you a new word, you need to employ the word in your conversation, in your communication, and that will take a long time in practice. Now, this is the self-study that you might do, is to enhance your grammar, to upgrade it, to develop yourself when it comes to grammar or vocabulary, but we will not discuss it here. We will try to focus as much as possible on the models of TOEFL, reading, and you have listening and speaking and writing, and that's the correct order of TOEFL exactly. So make sure that your vocabulary, your grammar are well put, because, as I said, a TOEFL student, he must be a B2, a high B2, or a C1. Now, moving forward for the time of TOEFL. Now, we all know TOEFL is a system IBT. It's online, it's going to be, and it's not like IELTS. However, IELTS, there is a time limit for it. In TOEFL, there is not. There is approximately a time. There are 4 modules, and it's 4 hours. But in case you are not capable to stick to the time that has been given to you, and you continue with your exam, it will add you another section to the exam, which can take longer than 4 hours, like 4 hours and more. It can be 4 hours, and normally we have, for example, the listening. Let's check here very swiftly. For example, the reading part, you have 3 passages, lasted for 60 minutes. Now, if you didn't organize your time perfectly, you will exceed the amount of passage, and the program will add you, the test will add you another section. And that's something you don't want, because so much time, exhaustion, tiredness, it will consume you, and you don't want that to happen to you while you're taking the exam. Now, so 4 hours and more. Now we're coming to the maximum point that we can take in TOEFL is 120 points, and there is each section of it 30 points. Each section 30 points, so that's the max. The sections, as we know and as we're familiar with, are 4. First one, and that I am organizing it to you in the right and the correct order that is coming to you when you take the exam. You'll start with reading, then listening, then speaking, then writing. Now, be aware of something. Besides the 4 hours that you will get, you will have a 10 minutes break after the reading and listening and before the writing, which means after you do the reading and the listening, you will rest for 10 minutes, then afterwards you'll start with speaking and writing. So my recommendation for you is take this break. You will need this break to refresh a bit your thoughts, and don't take more than 10 minutes. That's a bad thing, because I will explain to you what will happen. What will happen is this: if you take more than 10 minutes, the exam will continue. So you will not have time for speaking, which will last for 20 minutes. And speaking is a bit tricky. We will discuss it in details, hopefully, if we have time today. Yes, so you will have a 10 minutes break. This is the only break that you will get. So get yourself ready and prepared for it. 10 minutes break before the speaking and the writing. Now, let's talk about self-study. Self-study is important. Why? Because as much as you get your reading skills and you will start to read widely, that's absolutely amazing for you, because you will not predict the topics that will come in your academic exam. So the self-study, as I wrote it here in my notes, you need to study as many hours as you studied in your school or course. So let's say you are studying for in your school for 5 hours. When you get to your home, to your studying area at your home, which I recommend, it should be comfortable and cozy, and there is a little background music so that you can, or anything that can make you comfortable when you study. So you need to study hard for that. So 5 hours, if you are taking 5 hours in school, make sure when you get home, you apply those 5 hours at home. And if you have extra time, that would be perfect in order to increase your knowledge and your information. Remember, as much as you read widely, as much as you will participate more, as much as you will predict, as much as you can communicate and associate so much ideas with the topics that's giving to you. Now make sure that you are using a US keyboard in case you are using a different keyboard, and of course you are using a different keyboard. For myself, I am using a US keyboard. There is not so much difference between them though, but be sure to get used to that. Be sure that you get used to the keyboard of your laptop and write as much as possible. Practice, practice, and practice. As I said, writing is the worst for some students, for some candidates who took the TOEFL test. So I'm not telling you to be scared of writing. That would not be my aim. My aim is to be prepared for writing, because writing will be a bit challenging, even for a true academic teachers, instructors. So be aware of that. In our studying here, in our lessons, if I continue TOEFL or another teacher, for me, I will start with the speaking, because I believe that speaking is the shortest, and it's actually it's the calm before the storm. So we need to finish the speaking, comprehend the speaking, because I am starting with the models that the students prefer to start with. Okay? So now I will give you a fast brief on all the things that we need. Now we talk in general about everything. Now we will start to discuss, and remember, this is an introduction so that you can be aware of what you are getting to, and so that when we start our classes, you have a full vision of what's coming to you on TOEFL. Let's talk about reading, because it's the first test, the first model that you will take. There will be actually 3 passages when it comes to reading, and the time will be 60 minutes. And remember, as here we go again, as I said before, be sure to push yourself to commit to a time. Now, in our online, hopefully I can do that. I will set a time and a date that we can read and write, so that you can push yourself as much as possible. So 3 passages, and you will get for each passage 12 to 14 questions. Now the type of questions can differ from one passage to another. However, there are 3 types that I written here for you guys: a multiple choice, and inserting information to a paragraph, or in this case, more than 4 choices and more than 1 possible answer. This is a bit confusing, but I am sure you will have the practice and the determination to push yourself more and more. Now, 16 minutes, but in case you exceeded that time, there will be a section, a passage adding to you, and you need to do that. Now, in case you've done all of that, they will only grade 3 passages. So you have only 3 passages for 60 minutes, 1 hour. But you cross the 1 hour, there will be a passage coming down to test for you, and there will be 4 passages for you for 80 minutes. It can last for 80 minutes. Now, remember, they will only grade 3 passages. So you go and figure who they will grade. Okay? This is the reading. Multiple choice, insert information, sentences to a paragraph, input, insert input. They will have 4 choices and more than one possible answer. So it can be 4 choices. 2 of them are completely wrong, and 2 of them are right. But which one is the most correct, the better answer? It can be a bit challenging, but trust me when I'm telling you, you need to practice. Practice is essential. My coffee is cold. Okay, moving on. Now, reading 3 passages. You have 1 hour. Each passage 12 to 40 questions. Not 40, 14. 12, 14 questions. Multiple choices, and you will get to insert sentences in a paragraph. And the last one, 4 choices, but more than one possible answer. Moving swiftly on to listening. Now, the listening, guys, you need to get your listening on a level that can make you capable to understand and to comprehend the main idea, comprehend the relationship between the 2 characters that they are speaking. You need to be able to grab the ideas. That's what you need. You need to the supporting ideas, the stuff. You need to comprehend that one. Now, listening, there is 2 sections in listening. Each section got 1 conversation and 2 lectures. 2 sections. Each section got 1 conversation and 2 lectures. The time that's set for you is 1 hour, and as I said, it can go to 90 minutes, similar to reading if you exceeded the 1 hour that's been given to you. Now, let's talk about conversations. You will generally, the topics will be an office hours or service encounters. Or in some cases, university environment. For example, 2 individuals in the campus talking about the usual stuff as any students talk about. Now, this is for conversation. When we go to lectures, there is 5 question lectures. There is art, life science, physical science, and social science. Those are the topics for the lecture. Now, the 2 lectures, each 5 minutes. 2 lectures, each 5 minutes. And there will be 6 questions. And the 6 questions can be differ from one test to another. Depends on your test. But mainly, it's a multiple choice. The lecture on the listening part will be multiple choice, and on the other hand, it can be put steps in order, like chronological order, like putting stuff in order, which there will be in the lecture. There will be contrasting, there will be comparison, which mean if you want to put something in order and someone says something like, I am going to shop, but before that, I need to take my car keys. So which one is the first? Taking the car keys first, then going to the shop. So that's a very easy example, by the way, but I'm trying to make you get the full picture. So put steps in order or matching text. But the main thing that most exams, the candidates mentioned is the multiple choices. Now, let's get to the writing. I am skipping speaking because speaking I will make it for the 2nd hour, hopefully. The writing is, as I said, some students, some candidates believe that writing can be a bit challenging for most of our students, but I am believing in you that with practice and determination and persistence, you can achieve a good score in writing. However, in Turkey, they believe that the score can the average score in Turkey for TOEFL is 78. Remember, the max is 120, 78, and the scores from reading 20 from 30 points. Remember, we said each model 30 points, so 20 from 30. The writing, however, 19 from 30. So this point is, if you ask me, you can bring much a better one. But remember, with writing comes preparation. With writing comes the ability to organize, to show coherence in your writing. Cohesion is important. However, moving on to the writing. The writing have two parts. First part is the integrated part, which means there is a branch to it, which means it's go places. Okay, integrated. In the writing part, little different. You will read 230 to 30 words. So basically, you are going to read on writing. We are talking about writing. Okay, guys, you are going to read 300 words for 3 minutes. After that, after the reading, you will listen for a person or a speaker talks for 2 minutes. So max 5 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, you are going to read 230 to 30 words, passage. It can be or an article. And the listening and the speaker will expand the topic. He will talk about it. But sometimes, I'm telling you the truth here, it can be a contradiction, which means he's talking, you read something completely about something specific. The lecturer or the speaker, he will talk about the same thing, but he will contradict. He will contradict the ideas. Here comes your skill of making yourself understand which one is good and which one is the contradicts and the comparison and everything and supporting details. Remember, you have time, a bit time to templates. Card, you can write little notes. Making notes is massively important. Making notes is essential. Making notes in TOEFL is the key to get a full score. And nothing is impossible. Okay, don't tell me full score is impossible. Okay, so the max time for the writing is exactly 50 minutes. And you will have 3 minutes reading, 2 minutes listening, and you need, after 5 minutes reading and listening, you need to write 150 to 225 words. Okay? Don't make your words less, okay? By organizing the introduction, the supporting details, the ideas, okay? So what you are going to write about? That would be your question, right? You have reading, you read, and you have listening inside the writing. So this is the writing. Inside it, there is reading and listening. After that, you need to summarize. Now, summarizing with a particular order which makes the reader understand you. Okay? Remember, when you write, make sure to show linking words, connectors, phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs is not actually actually common, but you can use that if you are stuck. Yes, use contrast. Use the words that most of us use on our daily life, like likewise, on the other hand, in generally, overall, nevertheless. I love nevertheless, if you ask me. So, integrated writing, which means that you are going to do multiple tasks. this is the writing, and it's integrated, which means you will do reading, you will do listening, after you will do writing. Okay, so you need to be careful and aware of that. Now for section 2 in writing, this is independent writing, and the minimum is 300 words. Remember, the first section integrated is 225 minimum, the total words, and here you have the minimum of 300 words. Remember, first task 20 minutes, second task is 30 minutes. And the general stuff that you will write about is, are you disagreeing about something or agreeing? And on the other hand, maybe it can be, which is actually common, what situation would you prefer, this or that? Okay, so making a choice here again. Okay. Now, my favorite part. Now, speaking, because some students really complain about speaking, really complain. I prepare something very interesting for you. Today we will not take break, or I should take a break. I really don't know. We will see. Here, let me put this in order for you, fellas. Let me check. Okay, let's do something. Let's take a break. Let's take a break for 10 minutes. I will organize this for you. This is introduction about speaking. It will be very helpful for you, I promise, because I did my best to grab for you the best thing for speaking, and we will dig deeper into speaking, and after that we can continue the speaking and the introduction. It will be quite interesting, so stay tight, buckle up, go drink something or do something as I continue my coffee, and 10 minutes we will continue, we will dig deeper to speaking so that we can wrap up the introduction for TOEFL. Thank you, stay tight, okay? Coming up is very interesting.